Hey gang, what's happening? Me, Nova Lee, and some of this stuff. That's what we got going on. Yeah. Ah! The place is full of fairies. Hey gang, what's happening? Me, Nova Lee, and some of this stuff. That's what we got going on. I wasn't gonna film this, but everything is content, right? I'm trying to veer away from documenting all the commission work for you guys to doing some really fun custom stuff that we want to do, and not only do we want to do it, we want to make it available to you. However, because my schedule is insane, I'm all over the place. I need to clone myself, but that ain't gonna happen. So until we figure out a better flow, we're just gonna document everything. I'm working on a sign. It's a Christmas present. Hopefully it's done in time. It's for a gal that books vacations, called Vacations Worth Melting For. I guess it's a Disney thing. I don't know. Never been to the Disney. Been to the Disney store.
So funny, I forgot to laugh.
Where are we at? We got the artwork. I'll show you that in a little bit. But right now we're gonna rip down some material. So let's do that first. We're gonna totally work backwards because, yeah, why not? Boy, wasn't that fun? So this might look like a drop, but it's actually the panel we're going to use to paint our sign on. It's roughly 48 inches by 11. Actually, not roughly. It is exactly, precisely 48 by 11. Now, this is pre-primed, but the factory primer isn't worth a shit. Can I say shit? Shit, I just said it again. Well, that's a lot of shit. Anyway, if you recall, once upon a sign, I said that whenever you have a very angular brunt edge, where the peak of that edge or those two surfaces meet, you see that right there? You like that, don't you? Yeah. Ah! Anyway, yeah, so paint doesn't like to stick to a sharp corner. So we're gonna take some 220 grit sandpaper. Nothing fancy. I don't need a sander block or anything like that. I'm just gonna fold it over, and we're gonna hit all of these angular edges all the way around both sides. Then we're gonna look for any voids, like that one right there. And I think that's pretty much it. Oh, another one right there. And we're gonna hit those with some lightweight body filler and let that dry. And we'll give this whole thing a once over with like a 600 grit sandpaper. And then we'll prime it. We'll sand that down again. And then we'll prime it. And then we'll sand it down again. And that should be good, because that's just the way to do it. You want to do anything the right way, it takes like 5 times as long, but that's okay, because you're here with me and that's all that matters. So I'm gonna get a sanding, and you just sit there and do whatever you're doing. Pajamas, boxer shorts, fuzzy slippers, bowl of popcorn. Wait a minute, that's what I do. Well, you know what I'm saying. Hey there. Well, as you can see, we rolled all those edges and knocked down that sharpness. We've located our voids, and we're about to do a little bit of body filler. Let's just call it body filler. Nothing special, just a little bit of random brand body shop filler from the O'Reilly's. So I'm gonna mix that up, fill in our little voids. And if you don't know what I'm talking about, check it out. So like that's a little void right there. Being that this is plywood and the grain of the plywood was perpendicular to one another, sometimes you get these little divots or little voids. And although nobody's going to see the edge, we know it's there, so we're going to make sure it's where it needs to be. We just like to put out a good product, you know? Takes a little bit longer, and I'm sure you noticed I could easily load up the orbital and sand these edges down, but I prefer to do it by hand. I don't know. I guess I'm just a little bit more connected with the piece. I enjoy the process a little bit better. And it's the old way to do it, and I think it's the right way to do it. So let's get in some body filler, yeah. Alright, so that was quick. We only really had 2 small little voids, and they are filled up. So we're gonna let this dry before we can do anything else. I don't really have much more to share with you right now. Oh yeah, this stuff totally stinks, and that's fun. Other than that, I'll see you in as long as it takes. I have a better idea. While that's drying, let me show you what we did get done. So we did our layout, and like usual, we imported the artwork into Procreate. We pulled all the line structure off of it that we needed, bounced that to the laptop, bounced that to the projector, and yes, I know there is a way to plug the iPad directly into the projector, but I have a little cheapy projector, and the USB doesn't work, but the HDMI does. So that's why we have to bounce it to the laptop and then back over to the projector. But it works, and if it ain't broke, don't fix it. But here's where we're at. Check it out. So I laid this out up here, figured out the exact dimensions, which is 48 inches indicated by the tape here by 11. And while it was being projected, I went through and set all this up. So now what I'll do is I will tighten this up. We'll make a pounce pattern of this so that once our board has been primed and we have our base coat down, we can just go ahead and pounce this right on and knock it out. So I'm going to get this thing tightened up. You guys can hang out for a little bit and check it out. I'll time lapse it for you. Nothing you haven't seen before, nothing too exciting, but it's better than looking at your phone, right? Peoples, we are back. We had a short. Okay, let's try that again. GoPros do GoPro things. Like, one more time. Okay, let's do that again. GoPros do GoPro things. Like, throw you low battery and shut down mode type thing when it tells you that you have a 54% battery. I don't get it. Maybe there's something better out there. If you know, let me know, because I don't know.
I do not know why.
But what I do know is we gotta tighten this up. Okay, there we go. All right, so we're back. We had to run out for a little bit. Had to take the wife to the airport. She's going to Las Vegas for work, which is cool because that means I got all weekend to play with you guys. Yay, play date. All right, where we left off. We're good to go on our sign panel. The Bondo filler is dry, so we are gonna knock this down real quick with some sandpaper. We're gonna get this thing in primer, and while that's drying, waiting to be sanded and primed and sanded and primed and sanded and primed, we're gonna make our pounce pattern, and then we'll be caught up or behind, or I don't know. We're just doing the thing to the thing with the thing. So let's do the thing. That didn't feel very good. But you know what does? The edge of this board. We're ready for some prime. You know, the whole point of this whole YouTube thing that I'm doing for us, or for you, or for me, or for whatever, is to not only get it out there, like what I do, what I sell, but education too, right? I want you guys to learn stuff, because most of the things that you guys like, you really can do yourself. You just need a little bit of motivation, maybe a little bit of instruction, but you can do it. Every single one of you guys, you can totally do this. One of the things that I appreciate the most about any type of custom work, whether it be like building cars, making tattoos, sign painting, pinstriping, what have you, it's all the little things. It's all the little secrets, the little hacks, all those tiny little things that are so simple, often overlooked, that you never even think twice about. As a matter of fact, you never think about them at all, and that's why you don't know about them. For example, you've seen in many videos that I have these wood blocks. I use them for all kinds of stuff. I use them to hold material up. I use them to paint on, elevation, I mean, whatever, right? So I've got a, sorry, I got dust everywhere. I got dust in my nose, and not the good kind. I had this idea of a hack. So I want to power through priming this board up. And normally what you would do is you paint one side, you let it dry, you flip it over, and you paint the other side. But there is a way to paint all the sides and all the edges in the same day. And this is what we're going to do. I'm going to use these to help elevate the material or the signboard, but I'm going to drill some holes in them, put some screws through them, probably one here and one here, and one here and one here. We'll drape our material over this, but it'll hold it up, and the only thing that it's going to be resting on, instead of a flat surface to a flat surface, are going to be the points of the screws or the nails or whatever we use. We'll probably use screws in this instance, because that way they don't back out or move. So we will prime the first side, then we will flip it over. Those screws will hold it in place, and the side that the screws touch, we will call the back side. So that way, if they do leave a little indentation or a little flaw or whatever, nobody's gonna see it. It doesn't matter anyway, and we can come back and touch it up at a later date. So that's what we're gonna do. So let's make this hack happen. Here we're at. Check it out. See, that guy stands right there. And that guy's right there, right? Whatever length it needs to be on your material, these are going to keep everything elevated. So let's just say this is the said material, and one side is painted. It'll rest on those 4 points, plenty sturdy to roll it on the other side, and there you go. You're welcome. good looking. Here's where we're at. It's cold and rainy outside, which is totally cool. Perfect weather for painting inside, tattooing, or other such indoor activities. We primed it yesterday. Check it out. We're all primed up. Both sides, of course, our little pin in the board trick or screws in the board trick worked very well. So this is the top side. This is the bottom side. And there's a micro speck right there. A micro speck right there. One right there. And one right there. And that's where we held the material up. So that worked out very well. I see some light spots and some not so light spots. So I think we're gonna do one more coat of prime. I'm gonna hit this with a 600 grit real lightly just to knock down any high spots and give it a little bit of tooth for the second layer to grab. And as you can see here on our sides where we did our Bondo bodywork and filler, all those voids are full. So we're looking pretty okay. I'm gonna hit this with some sandpaper. I'm gonna prime it, and you and I will rendezvous. We're about to discover some stuff. I've got some Rust-Oleum high performance enamel, and it's not latex based, so I think we should be good, but we're gonna try to tint it with some one shot. And I think we're gonna go for like a sort of like a froggy type of minty color. So let's see how this pans out. We don't need a ton, but we need more than I have in one shot. So let's see what we can do here. Here we go. We've got our little pour through sieve, just in case. I've got a color I'm happy with. It's a mint color with a touch of blue. Maybe call it robin's egg. Call it whatever the hell you want. We're gonna get some of this rolled out in our impromptu paint tray. We're gonna roll this out with a 5-inch smooth finish roller. I'm probably not done with this guy just yet, so we're going to go ahead and put him into another bucket. There we go. Let's roll. Alright, so I'm going to go ahead and get this all rolled out. I'm going to squeeze the breeze here on the ceiling vent. That way we inhale all the fumes. I need a bigger place. Closed. Closed. Alright, here we go. we're gonna let this flash for about 15 minutes. Then we're gonna go ahead and put a finish coat on top of that. And then this should be good for where we're at with this for the time being. So stay tuned. Quick little update for you. Check this out. We got 3 coats of our color down. Okay, let's do that again. Again. 3 coats down. Looking like glass. I got a little heater on here to help evaporate the solvents and maybe dry this up a little bit quicker so we can handle it. Definitely won't be able to do anything else to it tonight. No lettering or layouts because the paint is very much soft. But let's see. There you go. Hold on. Let me get you some light. Let's do this the right way. There we go. All right. So that is our painted surface that we are gonna letter up. I'm super happy with it. I think the color we mixed up is spot on, as well as just, it's good. It's good. Yeah, it's good. So this will be there. And hopefully our little heater doesn't make this sign worth melting for. So while that's curing, I'm gonna jump on another project, which you'll see in another video, but I will warn you. No, I'm not gonna warn you, just figure it out yourself. We're probably going on 3 weeks with this thing, and not because it really takes that long, but life takes that long. So we chop away at it as we can, while we can, when we can. Either way, got some news for you. Here's where we're at. Our little trick with the wood blocks with the screws to paint both sides at the same time so we don't have to paint one side, wait for it to dry, and then paint the other side. Totally worked. Got 3 coats of our base color on the front. Got our base color on our back. You can't even tell that this thing was drying on the tips of screws. Also, here's our pounce pattern. I have it trimmed down. It probably doesn't look much to you, but if we flip it over, you can see all of our perforations, right? Those are all teeny tiny little perforations. That's going to allow our talc or pouncing chalk to transfer through the paper onto our medium. In this case, we're using 1/2-inch sign board. So I'm gonna get this thing squared up. We're gonna tape it in place and we're gonna pounce it. So check it out. Light on the chalk, so we're gonna go ahead and add some chalk to our pounce pad and give it a once over real quick. Breaking Bad. Nothing like that blue powder, you know?
Been a long time since I've hoovered some schneef.
That's it. Nothing special. Anyway, we're gonna go ahead and yeah, do the thing. To make this in a couple different colors, you can use baby powder, and you can go to the hardware store. What year is this? The 80s, 84. You can go to Home Depot or Lowe's or wherever, and you can get the chalk refills for chalk lines. Same stuff. Actually, that's what's in here, so you don't have to go and buy pounds chalk. Alright, that should be better. So I'm only untaping the bottom in case we have to realign it like we just did. That way we don't have to wipe it all off and start all over again. There we go, much better. Alright, that's doable. We can follow that. Sweet. Next time we see each other, we're going to be painting. Not a lot of commentary, but you guys didn't tune in to hear me talk. You tuned in to watch me work. So, check it out. Makes me want to take a vacation right now. I see you peeking. You're wondering what's going on. Well, here's what's going on. Aside from this noticeable fashion statement that I'm making today, let me help you understand what I'm talking about here. Look at that. We are in casual mode, but that doesn't mean we're not going to get stuff done. So here's where we're at. Here's what I'm thinking. This is what's going down. This is what it is. our vacation sign. I have decided that I am indeed going to do a resin pour, but I'm going to make some glitter into the resin to give it just that little touch of magic, because it's Disney vacations. Like, what's more magical than that besides how much they cost, right? Don't know, never did it. Anyway, before we do that, we're going to go ahead and do our raised mount like we did on the turtle sign. And then, where's it at? Over here somewhere. There we go. We got us another LED neon kit for it, because we're going to backlight it. It's going to make a nice little addition. I don't remember the gal's name because this is a third-party commission. I just make it. So let's say her name is Karen. No, not Karen. There's nothing magical about that. Regardless. This is going to be on the backdrop of her, kind of like when I'm recording for you guys. We got this lovely backdrop here. Got to brand it. So that's going to be behind her for her videos. So I think having a glow behind it with a little bit of sparkle, I think that'll be kind of cool. So that's what we're going to do. So today, raised mounts, light installation, and then we'll come back and we'll do the resin pour. Why are we doing it like that? Because once we have that elevated mount, the whole thing can sit just above our work surface here, just like we did before. We can level it out, and then we can do our resin pour and get a really good resin pour. So that's what we're doing. Fasten them seatbelts. Here we go. We need to place these probably, let's see, that's the top. Oh, somewhere about here, like that. Right, we're gonna do 3 points of contact on this, and then we need to make our mount for our French cleat, and that's gonna go right there. So that's where that's gonna hang. That's gonna help keep it up off the wall along with that. So it'll be 3 points of contact, plenty to keep our project elevated. So we got to do some measuring. I should probably know this because we do it all the time. We use the same size mounts, but I don't work like that. So it is what it is. One and 1/4 inches precisely. So let's think, if that's on the wall, then that's on the wall. We need to take 1 1/4, subtract the width. So we did a little bit of the math thing. So check out our calculate. We figured it out. Check it out. Our riser height is 1 1/4. This is our sign panel, which the riser attaches to. This is our wall surface. If we put the French cleat on the wall, it has this little shape right here. And then we have this other French cleat that hooks onto that French cleat This distance right here is 1¼ inches. That's the riser that we need to make. So we're gonna go measure some scrap in the garage and see if we can come up with a 1 1/16 inch riser to mount our French cleat to, which will be the third riser, 1, 2, 3, to raise this thing up off the wall. Then we'll get our lights on there. Then we'll do our resin, and man, we should be done. So I'm gonna go hunt. You sit still. All right, peoples. We got some scrap plywood. By itself, it's not thick enough. Double it up, it's not thick enough. So we're gonna double it up and then some. Check this out. Here's what we got going on. This is what we're figuring. We just said we needed 1 1/16, right? So we're gonna go ahead and set this bad boy up to 1 1/16. This is the same plywood as this, so if we stack this and then we sandwich this in between, and then we check it. Push it down where it's supposed to be. Look at that. 1 1/16. So we're gonna cut that down to size. We're gonna cut our panel down to size. That's about right. So we'll just use the width of the ruler here. Make our mark. We'll rip that down on the saw, then we'll cut it in half. Or maybe we'll cut it in half and then we'll cut it down even more so it's kind of stepped. Now we'll just cut it in half. Then that'll give us multiple points to mount from. Yep, that's what we're doing. Let's do it. So we scuffed all our materials on the sides that we're going to touch. We glued it. We clamped it. So we're gonna let that dry. And then we're gonna smooth off all the edges, probably hit it with a flapper or something, just to make sure everything's equal. We're gonna drill through it so we can mount it. So we'll drill it, we'll countersink it, we'll mount and paint and stuff and things, and yeah. Man, I need a belt sander. Actually, I was looking on the old interwebs this morning, and they have this really cool belt sander attachment that you can get for your bench grinder. Eastwood makes one, some other company makes one, and of course some other company makes one, available on the Amazonian website. But basically it just bolts on right here. It's got the 7-inch disc on the side, and then like either a 36 or 42-inch belt sander Looks pretty cool. I think I'm gonna have to get me one of those. But until then, we're gonna use a flapper disc. Yeah, probably just to rough it and then smooth it from there. So this is dry, the glue's clear. So being that it's not all nice and smooth, not that it matters because it's on the back of this thing, but details matter. I will go ahead and knock this down on all 4 sides, just kind of flatten it out a little bit and drill it. And yeah, there you go. It's time for a little razzle dazzle. Got our epoxy kit. Got a little pixie dust. I haven't really done the glitter epoxy thing before, so we're gonna give that a shot. Last time we did do the glitter, we sprinkled it over some of the lettering while the lettering was still wet. So that actually worked out well. So when we did the epoxy pour, it didn't remove or pick up any of the glitter because it was already dried to the paint. But this time we're going to try it a little different. We're going to try to put our glitter, aka metal flake, into our epoxy glaze while we're mixing it. And I don't want a ton of it. I just want like just some little sparkles here and there, you know, because it's like it's the Magic Kingdom, right? The place is full of fairies. Well, you know what I mean. Anyway, so we're gonna do that. I'm gonna use a disposable solo cup because I'm all out of our collector cups in the kitchen, but nobody knows I used them for all these projects, so we're not gonna tell anybody that we use all of our Bill Miller cups and our Rudy's barbecue cups and all our other cups, right? Right. So, without further ado, let's get sparkly. So this should probably work So you're supposed to stir this for 2 minutes. All right, so far so good. So now we're gonna go through and we're gonna hit this with some torch to help smooth it out and get any air bubbles out. And as the edge drips, which is fine because we want it to spill over, we're gonna just come through every now and then and wipe it off so we don't have any profound dried hard drips. Looking like glass. So now what I like to do while this is drying is I will make myself a little dust cover, because everybody's got dust. All right, there we go. Now we just wait 24 hours for full cure. And let's see. It's probably on the data sheet, which I don't have. I already threw it away. That's right. It's not our first rodeo. We're just gonna wait. Like I said, we're gonna come back periodically and wipe the drips from the edge and check out our stuff. So